And so, see?
Yeah, I see. It's good low because it doesn't splatter everywhere. All right, so we're doing the self-leveling. We got 45 bags to mix, so we're doing 15 at a time. So 3 runs of 15. We're gonna pour this whole floor. We're using NovaPlan Plus. This is over heated cables. This was skimmed already with thinset, but as you can see, we're using these tabs, and they're great little deals. They've got a self-stick adhesive on the back, but what I like to do is use a glue gun. I stick them all first, sporadically across the room. You'll see a bunch. And what you do is where your laser hits, so you see your laser there, you measure down and you snip it off wherever you want it. So whatever height that is. So what happens, you set your laser up across the room like this, and you'll see all the tabs. They've all been trimmed now, but you'll see the laser line will be at a different level because obviously the floor is in and out. So as that laser line goes across, you just I make a little piece that's about 1 inch. So it drops that down once you've established the height that you want to be. And then I take this around and I snip these little things at the height that I want. And this will allow me to get what I want. So see, that one is a lot higher than that one. That means that this part of the floor goes up. There's a hump, and then that goes down. So I try to place these evenly just to keep track of them and see where they're going. But you can even see some of them are like almost zeroed out, which is about 1/4 inch. And then some of them across the room, you'll see that one has got a good amount to it. So these things are great to help you keep consistent. So as you pour, you just want to make sure the top of your pour hits the tip of each one of those little tabs that I've got spread out. So just getting an epoxy pour afterwards, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty close. You don't want to waste a bunch of epoxy equipment or material trying to fill in voids and stuff. So they want to come in here and do a nice clean thin coat of epoxy and call it a day. So that's that, and I'll show you the pour when we're done. Another tool to mention is this. What it has is these standoff cleats there. So as you drag this across the floor, depending on what angle you're at, you can control how thick, you see the light coming through there? You can control how thick you want your pour at. So if I want a minimum 1/4 inch, I run this the whole time like that. Now it does have adjusters on it, so you can do those wing nuts and you can adjust it to taller. Like if I wanted a real thick pour, I'd go with that one there. But I want a nice kind of in the middle. So at that perfect angle, I'm getting that. And then the flip side is nice because then you can push the material, push it like that, and then you pull it like that. So this is a great piece of equipment. You can pick up at ProSol, and they are wonderful, wonderful for this. All right, so we got the first part of the pour done. And if you notice, towards the back of the pour, it's very consistent. Now we're mixing with buckets because I didn't know what we were walking into today. I didn't know if buckets would be better or a big tub. In hindsight, I should have used a big trash can with a vent hole at the bottom. That would have been a much easier process. But either way, make sure when you're doing this that you can see just the tip of those little prongs. And if you notice, I put them semi-equally placed. And the reason for that is so I know where to look for them once I pour the leveler. So as I'm pouring, I kind of have an idea of where each tab will be. Again, if you look at those ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're kind of in a line. And you want to make sure that you keep that stuff kind of even, and that'll help you when it comes to looking for those tips. You want to keep just the tip of that exposed. You can't see that one down there very well, but you can see that one there, right there. And that helps you make sure you keep track of them and see how thick you're going and all that. And keep working the leveler. So it's very important to use this tool here to keep working this leveler around and to keep it kind of pliable and soft and keep it from getting too thin and too dried out. That way when you pour the next bucket, you can kind of keep things even. And that's how you don't get those big circled pours. So again, if I just continue to pour these buckets like this and expect the leveler to do all the work, you're gonna get a bunch of these rings. And the problem with that is you'll have an inconsistent level. So if you're pouring this for some mosaics or something like that in a room, you really wanna make sure you work this in with this tool. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm gonna speed up this video a little bit. Is you wanna push and pull and get that worked in to the previous pour. Just kind of get this. Now I have another tool that works a little better than this one for this part, for kind of smoothing things out. But again, lost it. So, or don't know where it's at. And again, you can see this is a perfect example. Just a little bit of that plastic exposed. You can always trim that off after everything's dry. But this tells you, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing and you're getting a good pour.